So having seen the logic that we will use to convert total seconds into hours, minutes, and seconds, let's see how we can do this. And the way we do this in Python is using two extremely powerful operators. These are respectively the modulo operator, which we represent like a percentage sign, and what we call floor division, which is represented by two forward slashes. Now, please make sure you notice these are two forward slashes, not backward slashes, and there are two of these because a single is basically just pure division. Uh, I'm going to look at it, both of these operators, a little bit briefly in this video before we move on. I'm also linking another video which I've done on this topic. You can take a look at that. There are several examples I've given there, which will also be helpful. Now, let's come to this. Percentage or modulo basically means a remainder after we have done the division. Double forward slash, which is two forward slashes back to back, is floor division, or which is, in other words, quotient after a division. Let's look at it from some examples. It becomes more clear. If I look at, for example, 100 modulo 4, or say 100 percentage 4, I'm going to get a 0 because 4 we know is a factor of 100, or in other words, 100 is divisible by 4. If I divide 100 by 4, I get 0 as a remainder. On the other hand, if I did 101 modulo 4, I'm going to get 1, and that's because we know that if I divide 101 by 4, I'm going to get a remainder of 1. If you are careful here, you'll realize that the modulo operator will always yield you something which is 0, 1, 2, 3 until, let's say, that number. So which means it will always be less than the number that we are dividing with. That's because the remainder cannot be more than or equal to the number we are dividing with. I think that's that comes from basic, let's say, arithmetic, mathematics, and it follows from there. Now let's look at floor division. Floor division, like I said, is a quotient. So if I look at 100 by 4, 100 floor division 4, it's 25, because we know that 100 is equal to 4 times 25. So if I divided 4 by 100 by 4, I'm going to get 25 as a quotient. On the other hand, if I did 101 floor division 4, I'm also going to get 25. There are two ways to look at this. One is that I'm dividing 101 by 4, I'm going to get 25 point something. I take the floor of that, or let's say go to the lower integer, I get 25. Another way, which is more kind of useful in this context, is saying that 101 is basically 25 times 4 plus 1. So which means that if I look at the quotient, it has to be 25. So the point I'm making, kind of generalizing this to a little bit more, let's say, general scenario or algebraic way of looking at it, is that if there's a number n, which is p times q plus m, and I want to find, let's say, p and m. So what I have to do really for p is remember the quotient. So if I did n floor division q, I'm going to get p because that's the quotient. That's what I get as a quotient. On the other hand, if I want to get m, I'm going to do n percentage q. That's because if I divided n by q, what is the remainder that's left? That is the that is this modulo, right? So percentage is modulo. Remember, take two examples again. 100 is equal to 12 times 8 plus 4, which means that if I did 100 percentage 8, which is 100 modulo 8, it is saying that, okay, if I divided 100 by 8, I'm going to get remainder as 4, and hence 100 percentage 8 is 4. 100 floor division 8, on the other hand, is 12, because remember that is the quotient. Now this is kind of relating back to basic division, basic mathematics. Make sure you understand this. Take yourself some examples, and convince yourself this is all correct, right? Uh, coming All right, so let's just convince ourselves a little bit better by actually doing these commands in Python. So I just go in here, for example, I say 100 modulo 4. I was expecting a 0, and indeed I get a 0. Now notice both of these are integers. The result is also an integer. If I did 101, let's say floor division 4, now this time I'm expecting a 25, which will be an integer because again both of these are integers. So I'm going to get also a 25 because, like I said earlier, that is a quotient that we are going to get when I divide 101 by 4. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye bye.